Okay, and for one of the other guys that was having some problems with OBS, I figured I'd just do a rundown of some of my settings that I have here. First of all, this is using the display capture that it will show whatever your monitor shows. Okay, the one that you usually use, at least I do anyway, because I do a lot of games and stuff like that, or application stuff. You come down here and you would go properties, and then you would put whatever in there. Because I was on an Unreal Engine, that's the project name, etc. And then you put that in there, and these are just all the check marks that you have or don't have there, and that seems to work for me. Okay, now I don't have the video capture thing on right now because I'm not live streaming. Right now, it's different from recording to live streaming in that you don't need to have a video camera to live stream. Okay, and that's one of the bonuses to actually doing recording. On top of, you can do video editing, which is splicing in bits, adding composites. That's things over top and fancy stuff like that. Okay, now we'll go into the settings here. And in general, there's not much in here that I usually, mess with. Um, is there anything in here? No, I don't think there was anything in there that's really important. Um, this is where you put your the server. You put your stream key in there. When you go into output, okay. Now these are some of the settings that I have here. Now they may differ. That bitrate part and the constant part, you could go to a variable bitrate and change that up too. But again, it depends on the power of your computer, etc., etc., etc. Right? I put it at that, and it seems to run nice. In recording area, same kind of thing. I put the super fast so that it just goes. Audio, not much there. Replay buffer, I don't have that enabled, although I should. You might want to put this to 48, whatever it is there. All right. This is where you set up your speakers and microphone as well, right? You just see what I've done here, right? Not really worrying about that. Let's see here. Like you could set up a push to mute, right, for your the audio on your video capture device if it has it, or the microphone or the desktop audio. I don't really care too much about that. Now right now I've got it set into full screen mode because it's going to show the whole screen here, right? Now, when I'm in a game, I go to 12 whatever it is by 720, and that's 720p, right? You put these two in here, right? And then you don't have to like if I wanted to downscale the base canvas, which is what this is, I don't even need to do that here. I could then go over to I could go over to here, right, and just force scaling, and then just scale it down to this, right? That just saves me a lot of time of changing the other thing there, but it adds CPU pressure, or whatever you want to call that. Back in here again. Let's see, what else do I usually do in here? Advanced. There's something in here with these things that I set up too that I forget. So if you don't see these kinds of things, you might want to kind of look at it that way. And remember, I'm using a little bit older version of OBS just to, keep things okay. And while I could make different profiles for stuff, I don't bother. I mean, it just, it would just help to do that, so you'd have it set up, let's see, like you could have this one type of game here, then another game, and another game, another game. You could have like 10 games set up and have different settings for each one, or whatever resolutions. I don't have the greatest powered computer to do things, so I find that the lower resolution actually works good. And what was it? The frame rates. This depends on um, when you're playing the game. If you notice it's a little laggy without OBS, you're probably not getting 60 frames a second. You're probably getting in between, you know, 30 to 50. So the one you go to is 48 here, okay? And YouTube has a specific thing for 720p to be 48 frames a second. It looks good enough. And contrary to most popular belief, okay, the human eye starts to recognize things as animated, so to speak, at around, what was it, 14 frames a second. And by the time you reach 24, it's pretty well good enough of what you're going to see. That's why most movies are around, either between 24 and 30 frames a second. You don't tell. You can't tell. And it's also good because when you have CGI that goes into those movies at that frame rate, it's easier to produce things like that. When you go to 60 frames per second, the human eye can't tell much different. And it literally is, in my opinion, a waste of your money to go to 8K, 4K, and try and get yourselves up to 140 or 120 frames per second. That's just like that jock on the side of the road going, "Yeah, I got the biggest, bestest, stuffest, even though I don't needs it." Yeah. Anyway, so I thought I'd run through that, and then I had another video, but I had this resolution wrong in it, so it come out silly, and I ended up converting some 422 stuff in Unreal to 424, and then it decided it wanted to compile all the shaders before it would open the damn stupid thing, so I kind of cut out. Mind you, looks semi-okay. So anyway, and just to show you, like, when you guys are seeing a video that I do of this, what I do is I go over to here, right? Where is it? Play. And I go standalone game. I don't know if this will work either. Yeah, it should, because I'm doing a display. Will it work? Maybe not, eh? Boy, oh boy. This 424 is beginning to be a pain in the butt. Come on. There we go. And this little thing at the bottom pops up. And what you guys see as full screen is actually this big. And because I'm recording it and doing it this way, it's a little bit more laggy than usual. But anyway. And there's those little guys. Now that I've managed to import all this in here, now I can bring in some other, what do you call it? Environments, levels and things to play around with, because the next stage is to bring the shooter game thing up to this version, which we'll see if that works. And then if it runs okay, then I can just make levels for it, and yeah. I might even make a thing where you can pick one of these guys as your main dude and give you different weapons, and then start working on how to make different abilities for different guys and whatever. That's just for that game. I mean, it's not a serious project, but like I was saying before, the thing I kind of wanted to do is a little more cinematic, right? Doing some kind of like a little story-based thing or something. Mess around with these guys, have different character arcs and stuff like that. Like all of these have different skins, and even the different skins look like different creatures, right? So you can mess around with them a bit and have more things. Just to show you, let me get out of that for a minute. Kill this. We'll bring this up. Oh, my eyeballs. Go into library. And these first little lots, this is all the mucking around I've done with stuff. I had more than this, and I removed a lot because see here down here at the bottom, it says 179 gigabytes. Okay, so when I use something in a project, it downloads it to me, right? And then if I go and use it in another project, it makes a copy of that from the base. So there's like a base copy, and then there's the copy in your project, right? And then if you do another project, there's another copy. So that would be 3 copies. So if I put this in 3 things, that's 1.5 gigabytes. Okay, 179. And now you guys begin to see this is just like that guy on my main channel that walks around. There's 50 gigabytes. 50 gigabytes to do that. And those skins or characters you see there, I could put that over top of that. This little white guy is like the base thing. You then basically kind of skin over. They call it retargeting here. Okay, you put that over and you do stuff to it. Okay. Unfortunately, I wanted to get into several. Here's a shout out to SB Gaming. Sorry, man, I was doing stuff and I thought it was going okay. I was sitting in your live stream, and then suddenly this engine decided to, before it even starts, to go and do stuff crazily. You need Windows 10 for this, even though they really don't want to. They don't want to, say that, right? It would be really cool if we could get that for every other type of operating system, but you don't want to give it to us, we're not going to bother using it. That's all there is to it. Okay? That's I'm not even going to go there with it. Now, with this being oh, wait a minute here. How am I going to know which one's which? Oh, this is going to be trippy. How do I know? Okay, hold on here. Go to the, yeah. Not compatible with 4.21. What kind of shit's this? Look at this crap. So I got to go get the 4.23 just so I can get that castle shit back. See what I mean? Oh, assholes. Not compatible with 4.21. Not compatible, not compatible, not compatible, not compatible, not compatible. I think I got a complaint to make here, girls. None of your shit's compatible. Okay. Fuck yeah. I'm not gonna bother with this shit for the day. I'm kind of aggravated. Getting pissed off at this kind of bullshit. I don't care about the Megascan shit right now. I mean, there's no sense in fucking worrying about textures if none of the stuff I can have will work. Oh, look at that. Not compatible. Wow. Wow. Oh, here we go. Okay, I gotta stop the stream and go make some complaints here.